Digimon Story Time Stranger is a really interesting game. I've always admired Digimon from afar, whether it was through the anime, friends who swore by the earlier games, or just seeing character art pop up online, but I've never fully committed to the series in game form. So going into Time Stranger, I was coming in relatively fresh, with only surface level understanding of how these games actually work. I played a couple of Digimon games like Survive, which I really enjoyed, but Time Stranger is a full-on turn-based JRPG with all the bells and whistles that I adore in my games. Honestly, being relatively new to the series almost made the experience even more exciting. There's something special about stepping into a series without baggage, without expectations, and just letting the game itself make its case to you. That's exactly how this preview felt. I had the chance to sit down with Digimon Story Time Stranger for a good chunk of hands-on time at PAX West. I played the game for over 3 hours, so shout out to Bandai Namco for giving me the opportunity to not just get a small taste of Digimon, but to really dig into what this game has to offer. I walked away not just impressed, but kind of intrigued in a way I wasn't expecting. This game feels like it has potential to win over newcomers like me, while still giving veterans plenty of depth to chew on. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my thoughts and impressions after spending a ton of time with Digimon Story Time Stranger, so I won't waste any more time. Let's get right into it. The moment Time Stranger starts, there's this unmistakable Digimon energy. Not the bright, almost cozy atmosphere of a Pokemon game. This feels stranger, heavier, more mysterious. It just feels like something more aimed at adults with a far more dark premise. The environments are really well done. The UI feels sharp, and the soundtrack has these little electronic flourishes that I really enjoyed. I felt that everything came together nicely to set up the tone and the experience right from the jump. The preview starts at the beginning of the game. You get your character up and running, get into some introductory story sequences, and pick your first Digimon. This is very similar feeling to choosing your first Pokemon, but the stats on the Digimon seem a little bit more in-depth here. I was able to dig into things like attack, defense, speed, and more. I'm going to do my best not to butcher these names of these digital monsters here, but apologies if I do. I went with Devimon for higher attack power, and also because I thought this one just looked the coolest. The preview then took us through this underground subway tunnel of sorts for this tutorial, and that's where I learned the ins and outs of how everything works. I think the game does a great job of introducing all of the systems at play here without making things feel too overwhelming. I have a feeling there's a lot to this game in terms of building out your team, evolving your Digimon, and experimenting with different setups to overcome some of the more challenging areas in this game. That opening impression definitely stuck with me throughout the entirety of this preview. Even when I was just fiddling with menus or wandering around a random area, there was always this sense that the world itself had a lot of lore to it that I was interested in learning more about. It's a neat touch, one that makes the game stand apart from other monster collecting JRPGs. Obviously, I don't want to go too deep into story details from just a preview slice, but the premise itself is compelling. Time Stranger definitely leans into its title here, weaving time travel elements and stranger-than-fiction scenarios into the fabric of its storytelling. There's this constant sense of disorientation. Characters hinting at events that might not have happened yet, locations that feel familiar but are subtly altered, and Digimon who seem aware of realities beyond your own. For a newcomer like me, it's a little destabilizing at first. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to know coming in, but the beauty of it is the game doesn't punish you for being new. The mysteries are meant to be mysteries, even for longtime fans, I think. It's less about catching every single reference and more about embracing the sense of being out of place in this kind of strange timeline here. I think the most impressive aspect of this game has to be its combat. The combat is traditional turn-based at its core. You're taking turns, selecting abilities, watching everything play out, but the flow feels quicker and more tactical than I expected. There's a strong emphasis on resource management, making the most of tight matchups. Every move matters. Sometimes it's about exploiting weaknesses, other times it's about knowing when to hold back, heal, or switch strategies entirely. And because Digimon evolve in so many branching paths, your team composition never feels really static. Now, this is where I was introduced to conversion. Basically, Digimon can be converted once their scans reach between 1 and 200%. Defeating a Digimon in battle increases their scan rate, so when I found what I was looking for, I wanted to keep battling it to get that scan rate up. The closer the scan rate is to 200%, which is the maximum, the higher the Digimon's talent points and HP will be. I really liked the control I had over seemingly everything involving all my Digimon. I think the evolution deserves some attention as well because it's the heart of the experience. Unlike Pokemon, where evolution is mostly a linear one-way path, Digimon are constantly shifting. You can evolve forward, devolve back, branch off into entirely different forms depending on your choices. It's less about collecting them all and more about exploring all the possibilities here. In practice, this means you're never locked in. You can experiment, make mistakes, and try again, which is perfect for someone like me who doesn't know all the Digimon by heart. Instead of feeling punished for not memorizing charts, I felt encouraged to just try different things. And honestly, that sense of freedom was refreshing. Like every decision I had weight to it, but nothing was ever final, and I always felt like I could go back and try something new. What surprised me most is just how much the game rewarded experimentation. You're not just grinding levels to see numbers go up, you're tinkering with evolutions, mixing abilities, and finding creative solutions to tough fights. It's the kind of system that could get overwhelming if you let it, but here it feels really well paced and very approachable. There's a boss fight toward the end of the first half of the demo that puts all of these mechanics to the test for you. It can be challenging if you haven't used all the mechanics at your disposal leading up to this point. I enjoyed the turn-based back and forth here. I liked experimenting with different movesets to see what worked, and I got through and took it down without issue. This closed out the first half of the demo, and I really enjoyed my time with it. Now, this is when the demo switches gears and we jump into a much further point in the game. Your Digimon are level 20 plus and are evolved with more advanced movesets. The environments in the first area were dark and drab, so it was nice to see the second half of this demo brighten things up a bit. Everything was beautifully lit with vibrant colors and really incredible environments. I loved the change up here, and the second half of the demo allowed me to take everything I learned in the first half and really put it to the test with some more challenging encounters. This part of the demo felt more open to exploration as well, and this is another area where Time Stranger stood out. The environments feel distinct. At times it's more colorful, and others it could be really unsettling. I never felt like I knew exactly what I was walking into, and that's a rare feeling in JRPGs, and I really enjoy what they did here. The second part of the demo opens up with some story sequences. We are trying to help Shellmon, who is hurt. Seeing the voice acting come from the Digimon still throws me for a loop a bit, but it does help you connect with the digital monsters themselves as individual characters with their own personalities. I really liked that actually, and as the second part of the demo progressed, I felt that the game was better for it. After the cutscenes and the story sequences, I roamed around a bit. The map was a bit twisty and it took a sec for me to find my way around and figure out where I needed to go, but I enjoyed exploring and fighting new enemies. This was great for learning my new Digimon movesets. I then went to this underwater area that was visually stunning. I loved roaming around there and seeing all the different mechanics they introduced in the exploration and encounters. And eventually, I made it to the final boss, which was this giant shark named, you guessed it, Sharkmon. The boss fight was incredibly fun. I had to be strategic with targeting specific areas of the boss during certain points of the fight, targeting weaknesses and swapping out Digimon that were weak to its movesets. This was a really good display of the potential challenge this game offers. It's strategic and deeper than I was expecting. I took down the boss and that's where the demo closed out. So with the demo finished and all of like the moment-to-moment gameplay experiences aside, let's give some overall thoughts here. The art direction is stylish. It blends colorful Digimon designs with slightly eerie environments. The soundtrack, like I said, is this mix of more glitchy electronic beats and sweeping melodies that give every scene its own unique edge, and the pacing, at least in my 3 or 4 hour preview, kept me engaged without ever feeling overwhelmed. There's this constant interplay between warmth and unease in this game. One moment you're bonding with your Digimon, everything is upbeat, and then the next you're in like this hostile environment that feels just unstable and uncomfortable. That tonal contrast makes the world feel alive in a way I honestly really didn't expect. After my time with the game, I walked away genuinely impressed. Digimon Story Time Stranger has the potential to be both a strong JRPG on its own and an inviting entry point for people like me who've always admired Digimon from the sidelines. The combat is engaging, the evolution system is addictive, the atmosphere is unique, and the story setup promises something both strange and compelling. It's not often I walk away from a preview thinking, maybe I should finally dive deeper into the whole series, but that's exactly where I'm at right now. If the full game delivers on this promise of this preview, I think Time Stranger could easily stand out among the best of this year's JRPG lineup. Anyway, that's it for me in this one. Thank you again to Bandai Namco for inviting me out to play such a huge slice of this game. I really enjoyed my time with it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the preview. Is there anything that stands out to you? Also, let me know if you're a Digimon fan, and if so, is this a game you're looking forward to? I'd definitely be interested in getting your thoughts. And one last thing, if you like these types of videos where I break down some upcoming games for you, then be sure to subscribe for more content like this. It definitely helps out the channel. And until next time, I'm out.